For me, I think the biggest changes in terms of the landscape are to do with what I see as a big increase in the amount of awareness that entrepreneurship can bring to the success of graduates. I think it's much better understood that entrepreneurship is a very important part to play, and if it can be properly embedded in further and higher education, then the benefits to be reaped can be quite substantial. I think part of the conference theme was asking the question, are we getting fitter? And I think that's a more relevant question, because I definitely think we are on the road to becoming fit for purpose. In the first part of my answer, I talked about a greater awareness, and I think that's true. I think the challenges stem from that greater awareness, because now the question is, we know it makes sense, we know it's going to have a positive impact. How do we go about implementing this change? So for me, the challenges really are looking at ways in which we can effectively integrate entrepreneurship across a much broader range of subjects. I mentioned this morning in the conference that my own background is in design, and designers typically are asked to think creatively and to solve problems as part of the design process. And those skills and attributes, I think, should and could be much more widely transferred to a broader range of subjects, because entrepreneurship, I think, for too long has been seen sitting in the domain of business culture, whereas it can obviously have a great impact across a much broader range of disciplines. In terms of the driving, I think the responsibility lies across a group of people, the stakeholders who are involved. So those are students themselves, who must take on more added responsibility for steering and shaping their own education, but also employers who will in turn inform curricular design, government, industry players. So it's a broad spectrum of the stakeholders who I think have got to join together and help drive change forward. Key actions, I think to a large extent, those are beginning to fall into place, because entrepreneurship and employability are high on the agenda now. So there are a number of global institutions and organisations who are addressing this topic, and I think from that level of policy that will emerge from these conversations, I think that will filter through at an institutional level, and increasingly institutions will look at ways in which they can embed entrepreneurship in their range of courses to help improve the student experience.
Lovely, thank you very much.